Hello everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to share with you all something a little different. Ever since I was young, I've been fascinated by how cutting-edge technology can be used in fashion. Maybe it all started with Alexander McQueen's Spring-Summer 1999 collection, which brought together performance art, fashion, and technology in such a brilliant way. That interest was only deepened by Iris van Herpen's collections, which mixes fashion and cutting-edge technology seamlessly. And then it was amplified by Chanel Fall-Winter 2015 Haute Couture collection, which featured 3D printed tweed suits. I have experience working with a jewelry designer friend to create 3D printed accessories for my graduate collection. Since I can now make 3D models myself and own a 3D printer, I decided to create 3D printed accessories for my own fashion shoot. I drew inspiration from the orchid mantis and the weapon designs in Sailor Moon because I've always been fascinated by the tension between something beautiful and something dangerous. I wanted to create oversized nail rings that would give the illusion of dramatic nail art, along with a pair of glasses inspired by the mantis's wings, with the wings becoming the lenses. Now that the design is done, it's time to start sculpting it in Nomad Sculpt on my iPad. I'm still learning, so this isn't really a tutorial, but I know some of you wanted to see more of my sculpting process after my last video. I started with a very simple sphere and used the move tool to shape it. Then I mirrored the object to create a heart shape. Then I used the tube tool to create the antennae. I always have to remind myself that I'm working in 3 dimensions, so I make sure to check the shape from multiple angles as I go. I added a small sphere at the tip to finish the antenna, then mirrored it to the other side. Using the post subdivision option in the primitive toolbox, I created a faceted sphere that would act as the eyes. Then, to create the raised planes, I masked the areas where I wanted extra height and used the extract tool to pull out the different levels. I find it helpful to assign each part its intended color, since it makes it much easier to check the proportions and overall balance of the design. To create the wings, I added another primitive sphere object, flattened it with the gizmo tool, and then used the inverted crease tool to form the raised veins. Another small but helpful habit I've developed is naming each object as soon as I create it. It can feel tedious, I know, but as the project grows, you end up with so many objects that searching through them all just to find the one you want can take a lot of extra time. I created the legs in much the same way as the wings. For most of my models, I mainly rely on the move, inflate, smooth, and crease tools. "3D modeling can feel daunting at first, which is how I felt at the beginning. But I found Nomad Sculpt to be a very intuitive yet powerful tool. I also think it helps to start by seeing things in simple shapes. Before getting caught up in the details, train your eye to recognize the overall form first, then gradually build up the smaller details from there. And after a lot of tweaking and going back and forth, the 3D model was finally complete. Since the accessories weren't going to be too large, I only separated the wing parts for the glasses. I sent the 3D model off to print, and thankfully all the pieces came out perfectly on the first try. After giving the printed pieces a bit of minor sanding, I spray painted everything gold. Then I added some color with glue and glitter and finished the pieces off with feathers. Since last year, I'd been designing and sewing whenever I had free time outside of work and my other projects. Once I had completed both the garments and the 3D printed accessories, I reached out to my tattoo artist and photographer friend who has a studio and a model friend, and organized a small fashion shoot to bring everything together. Now let's start the shoot. Each and every one of my subscribers means a lot to me, and I never want to disappoint you. There are so many projects beyond dolls that I'd love to share, especially fashion related ones, but I've always wondered if they would interest you. Dolls will still be the main focus of my channel, but I also hope to share more fashion projects here. I hope you enjoy them, and even if they're a little different, I hope you'll keep an open mind. That said, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you soon.